Hello, I am Amma, and I'm here today to talk about the Beastmaster's pet. So the so-called Black Beast is, as you would expect for a summoner class, one of the most important part of your arsenal. And before we get started, I would actually recommend watching my previous video about the Beastmaster skills, since I translate all the skills. It makes it much more easier to understand what I'll be talking about next. But with that said, let's get started. So the Black Beast is more of a summon actually, since it has a duration and it also has a cooldown. So let's take a look at the skill. As I explained in the previous video, you can upgrade the skill. You get the first rank at level 20, sorry. Level 20 you can summon your pet, and upgrading the skill allows you to summon it for a longer duration at the cost of a longer cooldown. It also increases the damage and the HP of the pet, so the pet doesn't scale that well after level 49, so this is something to keep in mind. And the pet has its own AI, so he is now in sit mode, and if I tell him to go in attack mode, he will go and kill the nearest mob, as you can see. So the pet makes its own decision who to attack, and oh, it just got unsummoned. Let's summon it again. He decides who to attack and what skill to use, since the pet has its own skills. So let's see, is he gonna attack? So I would actually like to point out that the AI from the pet is not that reliable right now. It's actually a bit buggy. So actually I would like to point out that at the start of back when they released the Beastmaster, there was some serious issues, such as the pet attacking random NPCs for no reason, and this was fixed, but there is still some weird issues, like your pet randomly attacking players when you're in PK mode, or just overall it seems to attack random mobs for like grey mobs for no reason, like this one. So yeah, the AI is not the best right now, but I hope they will fix it later on. But you also have your own set of commands to give the pet, so like attack, you go attack, you have the command to make him follow you, you have the command to make him sit, which gives you a HP buff, as I explained before, HP regen buff rather, and then you have the command to stop, which allows you to ride the pet. But let's ask him to follow me, and let's see how you can use the pet in combat. So the pet has its own skills. Let's try to make him fight some tankier mob like this one. So most of the time the pet will choose the skills he decides that the most suited for the situation. But you also have skills on your own arsenal that allows you to trigger skills from your pet, which is something I explained in the previous video, but I didn't show it at all. So a good example is my Q skill, so this one. So this skill triggers a skill that the pet never uses by itself, which was that weird AoE you just saw. Let's see if he does it again. Like this AoE where it just disappears and just slash everything, some kind of omni slash. So like I said, by default the pet never uses that skill. You have several skills like this on your own arsenal that allows you to trigger it. So there was this one, there's also not this one, this one. So it triggers this AoE, and as you can see it does damage and also stuns. So again, by default the pet never uses that skill. You have to trigger it yourself. And there is a few more, but the skills are not really that visible. There is the vacuum big AoE skill, this one, where your pet also uses his own special skill. So there's a few ones like that. Not all of them have visible differences, like this the skill I'm using right now, the forward and right click, is supposed to trigger a skill, but I can't really see which one it is that it triggers. But it is in the description. It tells you in the description when the skill actually triggers. a special skill from your pet. So this is interesting to know about because it allows you to combine your own skills with your pet in order to maximize your damage potential or even your control potential. Since, for example, the Q skill does a big AoE stun from the pet. So if you don't have the pet summon, you won't do that big AoE damage stun. You will just do the normal Q blocking skill with very small damage. One other interesting part is that most of the pet skill actually work against players, like the CC from the skill works against players. Since you probably noticed from my previous video is that a lot of the CCs are disabled in PvP. That's one of the main issues of the class, I would say. But the pet stuns actually work in PvP as well, so you can control an entire group of enemies with this skill, for example. You can stun them like this, which is pretty damn good. So one of the key things about the class is of course combining this in combat, using your own skills and then your pet skills together in a fluid motion. Now I think that covers it for this types of skill. Next I would like to talk about the mounted combat system. So at level 49 you are able to ride your own pet. I'm gonna move away because the respawn is crazy here. Alright, so let's get on top. Alright, so this is not a replacement for a mount. As you can see, I move rather slowly, and in order to run I use stamina, so this is in no way a replacement to a horse or a donkey. This is mainly for combat. So you have your own set of skills when you're mounted. You have the left click. You also have the right clicks. You have left and right with the right click. You have Q. You have also shift and on the sides to dodge. F doesn't work, I think. Nope. You have E. And you have, what else was there? I think it was space. Yes, space. You can also press whatever key and then space for a special dash, or forward and space rather. And then what was there? I think it was shift and space. Yes, this one for a big AoE. So most of those skills are actually skills that your pet uses when you're not on top of him by default. It's actually interesting to notice. But as you can see, the mounted combat is actually pretty limited. It's a nice way of getting some mobility because the dash is quite nice, this one, and then you do the normal dash like this one. It's a nice way of increasing your mobility, dashing ability, but you're quite vulnerable since you don't have the blocking effect from the Q, for example. And like I still get hit even when I have this, and overall you do less damage than you would do if you were on foot. So I think this is a really gimmicky skill, I would say. It might be nice in mass combat actually, like in order to pierce an enemy's front line, just dash in and do some AoEs. But overall I think it's pretty limited, so I would still recommend fighting on foot. So I think I've covered everything about the pet. Pretty much. Yeah, I think that's it. So if there is any question, of course feel free to ask. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, probably covering actual combat from the Beastmaster itself. See you guys next time.